Hi James, how are you?
I'm good.
How is Mexico treating you?
Mexico's treating me great. It's great. You know, this is such a lively, colorful city, and when I walk around, I go, wow, this is really a lot like my movie. It's very colorful, very full of life, and just very friendly people. People in my movie aren't very friendly, I guess, but the rest of it is the same.
Hi Dave, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You've been traveling all over. How's Mexico treating you now?
Yeah, good. I wish I actually had a little more time to get out and kind of experience Mexico. I've been here a lot in the past, but for this trip, it's just pretty much been focused here in the hotel and towards press. And it's okay though. I'm so proud of this film, so I really don't mind.
So here we are, a thief, two thugs, an assassin, and a maniac. But we're not gonna stand by as evil wipes out the galaxy. I guess we're stuck together, partners.
Are you telling me the fate of 12 billion people is in the hands of these criminals?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's one of the best Marvel Studios movies up to date.
Thank you.
But I also think it's one of the most difficult ones because you've got like a bunch of characters that are new and that people don't know. So was this a challenge, and did you ever have second thoughts about doing this movie?
Once I decided I wanted to do it, I'd never had second thoughts. I think that for me, the fact that the audience isn't familiar with these characters was actually a benefit. Because sometimes with these characters, there's so many people out in the world who have expectations of what those characters are supposed to be like and how you're supposed to present them. And with the Guardians, I felt like we really had a lot of freedom to create these characters first and foremost as a cinematic property.
You play Drax, so tell us about your character. I mean, it starts being all muscle, and as the movie develops, we see that he's a very caring character. Yeah,
well, you kind of realize, throughout the film that Drax is he's only so vicious and menacing and hell-bent on revenge over it stems from the heartbreak, over the loss of his family, and you start to get a sense of that and see how heartbroken he is. He's not just angry for no reason. He is the way he is for a reason.
Do you think that we'll see his origin story, like when he was a human, Arthur Douglas and stuff? Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if they will stick to that. There's been so many versions of Drax throughout the years, and I don't know what this current Drax is, where his past is going to stem from. I hope that story will be told, but yeah, as of right now, I don't know. It's a mystery to me as well.
And well, you changed from doing movies that were R-rated and that were like lower budget. So how was this doing this movie, like such a big production? And do you think that Super was one of the movies that the Marvel executives thought, oh, he could do this?
Yeah, it is. I know that is the case. I know they saw Super and liked it a lot. Which I think is strange because Super is very different from this movie. But I think overall, the truth is that when you're making a low-budget movie, for instance, Super, I shot that movie in 24 days. We'd have to do over 50 camera setups every single day, and it was so exhausting and so difficult. With a movie like this, I had a lot more time to make it. I could get any shot I wanted. Anything I could imagine in my head, I could create on screen, and I had some of the best people in the world working around me. Production designers, costume designers, makeup artists, visual effects artists. So in a lot of ways, it actually is an easier process for me making a movie like this than it is a low-budget film.
And how was this movie like working with Marvel compared to your past experiences in acting?
It was just so much bigger. It's just, if I had to sum it up in one word, just bigger. Because it's weird, I did movies, and each movie I took for a particular reason, but it's like I was climbing a ladder and I was slowly climbing. Then I went, so my last role before Guardians was Riddick. It's like I went from Riddick to Guardians. I just took this huge leap, and it was just so much bigger than anything I ever imagined doing. Yeah.
I look around. You know what I see? Losers. I mean, like, folks who have lost stuff. Their homes, their families. and we're facing a threat that could destroy us all.
What I like a lot about Guardians of the Galaxy is that it really has its own personality, like we can really see your style. How open would you say that Marvel Studios is to having directors do their own thing, especially concerning all the rumors about Edgar Wright's departure?
Well, I can't speak, I mean, Edgar's my good friend, and I think he's one of the most talented directors in the world, and I think that Edgar's going to go out there and make some other big, huge movie somewhere else. But for me, you know, personally, working with Marvel was great. I don't know what is, you know, at the root of that, but our aesthetics seem to match very well. So every time I threw them a strange idea, I was like, you know, let's add 1970s pop songs to this movie. And they said, okay, great. And I said, you know, let's have a 7-page scene of these characters just arguing in the third act where that should never happen at all. And they said, okay, great. And I said, let's cast my insane friend Michael Rooker as Yondu and put him in the movie. And they said, okay, great. So they kind of just went with every single idea I threw at them. And for me, it was the best collaboration of my entire, you know, life.
And as you were saying, you've got a lot of 80s stuff and music. You also have like a tribute to Indiana Jones. So would you do any other homage to other movies from the 80s and Guardians too?
Well, it's possible, you know, I mean, but for me, Raiders of the Lost Ark is truly like, you know, a pivotal film in my life. And when I first got this movie, I wanted to make a movie that made people today feel how Raiders of the Lost Ark made me feel as a kid. And I think there's a lot of similarities. They're both fun movies with a lot of action, a lot of humor, a lot of emotion, you know, romance. Just everything that's in Raiders is in this movie. And so it's just a very important movie to me.
Were you a fan of the Guardians before, or did you know them?
Yeah, before I was offered the audition, I had never heard of Drax or the Guardians of the Galaxy. No, I wasn't familiar with them, which I think will be, you know, I think it's been the challenge all along. I think it's crazy how this film has sparked so much interest in the Guardians of the Galaxy. So now there's been like a resurgence of the comics, and people are really starting to read it again and getting familiar, myself included. I think it's pretty amazing.
If it wasn't for Drax, who would be your favorite character in Guardians of the Galaxy?
It'd probably be a toss-up between Rocket or Groot. I think people, you know, Rocket is very interesting. I think people are going to just be drawn to him just because he's, you know, he's so small in stature, but he just doesn't take anything from anybody, and he's just so resourceful because he's so intelligent. And he's just, you know, he's just so witty. But I think Groot is just, he's that one character that people are going to fall in love with because he's just such a pure, he's really, out of the Guardians, he's the only really pure-hearted, innocent character, and I think people are naturally, very easily going to fall in love with him.
And no love for the villains?
No. No, although, you know, it's weird. I was talking to James about this, and I think, Ronan was played by Lee Pace. Lee's just so talented, man. You kind of get drawn into his performance. But the person who is least like their character, I think, in the film across the board is Karen Gillan. She's just so, you know, perky and, and bubbly. And then when she turns into Nebula, she's so deep and dark. You know, it's just like crazy. The transformation's just crazy. You know.
I will destroy you and your world. First, you gotta go through us. We're the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm with them.
And how was working with James Gunn?
Oh, fun. Yeah, fun, amazing. Every day was fun, and it was a learning experience. But I think that's the big thing about James, is he made everything very easy for us, because there was just no pressure on us. It was all always, you know, good vibes on set, good chemistry. He had a very clear vision of what he wanted, so he just made it very simple for us. And I think that's it. We just, you know, it was just a lot of fun. Like, every day was fun.
Would you be interested in doing a voice character for something of Marvel? I mean, you've got a great deep voice.
Yeah,
so.
no, I've actually looked into that. I want to do. I love doing like voiceover stuff. I think it's really interesting. It's kind of cool. I'm a big fan of animated stuff, and I love the voiceovers. And I love to see different actors performing as voice characters. So yeah, definitely, I'd love to.
I think you would be a great villain.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I want to be.
Let's hope you do that.
I want to be the animated Ronin.
That would be great. And Kevin Feige mentioned that Nova was originally on the script, but you had to cut it. So would you have Nova in Guardians 2 or Warlock? And could Nathan Fillion be Nova?
Well, I don't know about, you know, in all honesty, I don't think I am going to have Nova in the second one. I think that we have one Earthling in this movie, and that's good. And having another Earthling seems strange to me, unless somehow it will work out. So I'm not so sure about that. We'll have to see. And as for Warlock and the rest, we'll just have to see. I mean, I'm working out who's going to be in the next movie, and I think that, you know, we'll make the best choices possible.
And my last question, do you already have like some comic book series that are you thinking about involving the story of the second movie, or is it going to be something completely new?
I think it'll probably be something pretty new, just like this movie wasn't based on any one comic book storyline. I think that's going to continue to be the case for Guardians 2.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
They call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy.
What a bunch of a-holes.
Hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're real.